All right, welcome everybody to tonight's Team Aftershot Zoom call. It is April 12th, and yeah, if you guys weren't on the Team Victory All-Stars call that just happened talking about struggles, you have to catch the recording of that because it was an amazing call, and it was like it just like hearing different coaches' struggles in the business. It's like, wow, okay, like I can relate to that. I can relate to that. I've felt that same way. I've gone through that same thing. And it's just amazing. It's like, okay, like, other people go through the same thing as you. And it's encouraging to hear that. So yeah, definitely a good call to watch the recording of if you weren't on it live. And I leave in 2 days for Cancun with a whole bunch of other coaches. So that's super exciting. I'm obviously really excited about that. This is my first Success Club trip that I've ever going on. So, and I remember last year, and Anna mentioned this at the start of the Team Victory All-Stars call too, her first year that she was a coach and the Success Club cruise, and she didn't get to go on it, and she was sitting at home and looking at everybody's pictures, and she was like, oh, I'm never going to miss it again. And that's basically how I was last year. Like last year I sat at home and I watched everybody's pictures of the cruise, and I was just like, and yeah, so this year I was like going to make sure that I made it happen. I made sure I got all my points last year that I needed so that the resort was covered and everything. So just like Anna said, use it as fuel to make sure that you're going to be there. I know there's a big wait list, but the thing is, for the cruise next year, guys, for Cancun this year, it was a little bit different. Like if as long as people registered, if they didn't cancel, they could go, whether or not they earned Success Club ever throughout the year. But for the cruise, because it is a Success Club trip, a lot of people were frustrated because they didn't get off the wait list, even though they totally qualified for it. But then there were people that never hit Success Club at all last year and still are going to Cancun. So what they're doing for the cruise is there's a few different things. To get off the wait list, when a spot comes available, you need to have hit Success Club the previous month. So say that a few spots come available this month, which I'm pretty sure they will, because the first quarterly payment is due on the 15th of April, so on Wednesday. And that's usually when cancellations start coming in because people, maybe didn't earn enough Success Club points in the first few months of the year to cover that first quarterly payment. So those spots open, and if they didn't hit Success Club, if somebody's on the wait list, spot number 1 on the wait list, and they didn't hit Success Club last month, then that's it. They won't get that open spot. It's going to go to the next person down the list that hit Success Club last month. And yeah, and then also, I guess, apparently there's also a thing that you have to have, if you're on the wait list, you have to have gotten at least, or not even if you're on the wait list, even if you've registered, you have to have gotten at least 10 Success Club points total within the first, I think it said 3 months of the year or whatever. So even if people are already registered and they don't have at least 10 Success Club points for the year by the end of this month, then their registration is automatically canceled. They're going to be refunded their registration fee. So there's going to be a whole bunch of other spots that are going to open up at the end of April as well. So in May, it's going to be like, if you're on the wait list right now and you're just like, oh, I really want to make sure I'm on that Success Club trip next year, make sure that you hit at least Success Club 5 this month, because there's going to be a whole bunch of spots opening up next month. And like I say, in order to get off the wait list, you have to have hit Success Club the previous month, which will be in April. So just a heads up for that. If you're not going on the Success Club trip, I posted about it. There is a group on Facebook. If you're not a part of it, you want to make sure to join it. It's called Beachbody Champions. And it's just a group, like it's run by some people at corporate and whatever. I think it was originally created for like Team Cup or something, but it's just a group that they keep going. And Jeff Matthewson, he is not coming to Cancun with us, so he gets to stay back and help coaches that aren't in Cancun. So he is actually going to be running a Success Club challenge over on the Beachbody Champions page this next week. So definitely go over there, check that out. If you're staying home, make the most of it, guys. And I've said this before. There's going to be like I think 2,000 coaches or something. I don't know how many coaches. I think there's 2,000 coaches or something going to Cancun. So there's going to be like 2,000 coaches, and these are like the top coaches, like the coaches that are running the business are going to be gone in Cancun vacationing this week. So totally, like, you guys, if you're not going, you have the ability to kind of jump in and, you know, like I say, check out that Beachbody Champions page and have a little fun with that Success Club challenge. And then just make sure that you are on that cruise next year and just like vow that you will never miss another trip like this, because it's, it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited. Like I say, last year I sat at home watching people's pictures on the cruise and I was like, I'm going to be there next year. So getting into it, tonight's call, I always spend a lot of times in my weeks, during my week. One of my like goals every single week is to find something awesome to share with you guys on this call. And this last week, I came across something totally awesome in this book, EntreLeadership by Dave Ramsey. This is an amazing book. I really recommend everybody reads it. I know another book added to your to-read list. But yeah, so I came across something really awesome in this book, and so that's what I'm going to share with you guys tonight. And there's actually two parts to what I'm sharing tonight. The first thing kind of touches on funnels, which is something that I've talked about before, but then Dave Ramsey actually mentions it in his book. It's a real thing. It's not something that I just make up. So really, his analogy that he used in this book is this guy who runs an HVAC company, and he's like struggling to get customers and get people to buy the, like, you know, the big systems that he has and whatever. So he went to one of Dave Ramsey's seminars or whatever, and he heard about the funnels. And what the funnel is, like I've said before for Beachbody, is you have a free challenge group, and then you get those people converted into your paid challenge group, and then you get those people converted into coaches or whatever. So this guy with the HVAC company, he left that seminar and he went and he created a whole bunch of ebooks, free ebooks online, on like how to make your furnace run more efficiently in your air conditioner, and simple tips and maintenance things, just free informative ebooks. And so he was collecting people's email addresses that way and stuff like that. And then the next funnel was, you know, scheduling maintenance appointments and stuff like that. And really what had happened is, you know, the funnel would come down to where then he would get people like spending $4,000 on whatever. And I was like, oh, like that's seriously, it's like a marketing plan. Like that is what works. And the reason is because you have the free group, right? So people need to like know that you're legit. And there's so many other coaches out there. And people can always just go to like beachbody.com or buy off an infomercial or whatever. So you're really not just marketing Beachbody products, you're marketing yourself. Like you want people to go to you. Why are people going to go to you and not to somebody else or not to beachbody.com? And something that I really think of is like when you post, if you post once in a while about Shakeology or about, oh, I did a 21-day fix workout today or whatever, or look at my 21-day fix container, but you're not doing anything consistently to like add value to people or providing like running free groups or even just consistently posting things that are adding value to people, sharing other things that are adding value to people, then people might get curious about when you post about Shakeology. But if you're not adding value to them consistently and also not building relationships with these people through private messaging and stuff like that, then you're gonna like, they're more likely, like, what are they gonna do? Okay. They see a post from somebody on their Facebook page, you, who they don't really see a ton of stuff from, and you haven't really been in touch with them, but they're kind of curious about what that Shakeology thing is. They're probably going to just Google it. And then they're going to just end up on Shakeology.com. Maybe they'll decide to buy it, and they will just end up as a free customer lead for another coach. Whereas if you are consistently trying to add value to people, and you are reaching out to people, and you are building relationships, and you are private messaging people, they are going to see that post of Shakeology, and they're going to be like, what is Shakeology? And because you have been in touch with them on the side in private messages, you've talked to them, they're going to feel comfortable actually asking you about it, right? So that's kind of the difference. And that's why you want to be consistently adding value to people. And I find in the free groups, that's the start of the funnel. Like I say, like you're getting people in there that specifically obviously want to lose some weight. They obviously are interested in learning more about clean eating and working out and stuff like that. And it's a closed group. Like my free clean eating groups are usually around 30 people. And that's what I recommend having them at, because usually out of 30 people, you have like 5 that actually are active and participate all week. So it's like a small, intimate setting where they're feeling like they're getting to know you better, and you're also building credibility, because you're like, look here, I have this clean eating meal plan and grocery list, and I'm here to help you, and here's some exercises that you can do each day. And then you're also messaging them on the side, like, how's this week going? How'd day 1 go? How'd you like that workout challenge and stuff like that? And so you're talking. So then when you post something about Shakeology and it pops up on their news feed, if they're curious about it, they're going to message you about it rather than just Google it. Okay, so I hope that kind of makes it clear about how important it is to add value to people. And it's through the free groups, but it's also through just your posts on social media, right? So absolutely share about what you're doing. I mean, don't be like too much like, here's my Shakeology again today, and here it was yesterday, and here it is the next day, and whatever. You post about every once in a while, but ultimately your main post and your main goal that you should be trying to do on your social media page, on your Facebook, is adding value to people. So it doesn't need to be overcomplicated either, because I know I have a tendency to overcomplicate things. Usually, I know a lot of people on this team do, but it doesn't have to be overcomplicated, guys. I post a lot of like stupid, sarcastic humor stuff, and that's adding value to people because it makes them laugh. Like, that's adding value to people. If they are scrolling their newsfeed and they see something I posted and it like makes them smile, they're like, oh, that's kind of funny. That's adding value. That is adding brightness to their day, right? So it doesn't need to be some sort of complicated clean eating tip or an exercise or, anything like that. That stuff is great, and people love when you share clean eating recipes. Absolutely. Some of the posts that will get the most engagement are like clean eating recipes and exercise ideas and tips and stuff. Absolutely. But if you are busy and you are trying to, you're like, I just need to get something up, find even just a motivational post, something that will brighten somebody's day, maybe give them some motivation to get a workout in, whatever, stuff like that. That's adding value, okay? But you need to build that credibility, and then you need to also be private messaging them on the side and building that relationship. So yeah, so like I say, the funnels for us is free group, any sort of free thing that you're adding value to people. If you want to start a newsletter, do that. That's awesome. Do a monthly newsletter where you send out, you can include a tip in it, a clean eating recipe, an exercise idea, like stuff like that. That's awesome. That is an amazing free funnel filter that you're offering to people. And then that funnel goes into challenge groups, because then from there you get people in your challenge groups, in your Beachbody challenge groups. You get them on programs. But the reason it's a funnel is because you're not going to have every single person that signs up for your newsletter or for your free clean eating group join your Beachbody challenge. You're going to have just a small fraction of them. They're going to go through the funnel. And then you're going to have a small fraction of those people join as coaches. Okay. So that's why it's called a funnel. And that's why it's so important to invite so many people and to fill those free groups. Like I say, I've been running free clean eating groups every other week this year, since the start of this year, every other week. And I have between 20 and 30 people in my free clean eating groups every week. Plus, I'm doing a Beachbody On Demand free group right now that has, I think, over 30 people. I'm running so many free groups, and these are all different people. Like all my free clean eating groups this year, I've not had any repeat people. Okay, so I've run a free clean eating group every 2 weeks this year with 20 to 30 new people. And I've had such a small fraction of those people actually join Beachbody Challenge groups, okay? So it's literally like it's a numbers game and whatever, but that's how it works. You got to fill the pipeline. Anna mentioned that too, about constantly filling your pipelines as well. It's the same thing. Pipeline, funnel, whatever you want to call it, is what it is. So the next thing now is the secret sauce I was talking about. This is actually, Dave Ramsey calls it the marketing stew. But I didn't want to say that because marketing to me, I don't know, it just sounds so like, I don't want to market. I'm not into marketing, and I don't want to do that stuff. But the thing about it, I guess, is like, you know, we're business owners, we're running a business, and you can't run a successful business without marketing. Luckily, Beachbody, as far as actually marketing the products, Beachbody does that. Beachbody spends millions and millions and millions of dollars every single year in effectively marketing their products. But once again, you're marketing you. You're marketing yourself, right? So why is somebody going to go to you to be their coach rather than to the next person, or rather than just ordering it off of, you know, I don't know, an infomercial or beachbody.com or whatever. So there are 4 ingredients in this marketing stew. The first one is passion. And this is very, it's like, so, yes, of course. So first of all, there's this quote from the EntreLeadership book that he said about passion. He said, when you and your team have passion, when there's a sense you are on a crusade, you become willing to sacrifice to make something bigger than you happen. There's always a price paid in energy, time, money, and pain to succeed. You will only sacrifice when you passionately believe in the outcome. So it's really like passion and belief, okay? The thing is like any coach who's successful in this, they are so passionate about what they do. They're passionate about helping people achieve their health and fitness goals. They're passionate about Beachbody and about what Beachbody stands for. They believe in Beachbody. They believe in the opportunity that Beachbody offers. And they have that passion. So then this also goes, and it brings to mind another thing that Mike Ryan actually shares quite often, and that is people don't remember what you said or what you did. They'll remember how you made them feel. So that kind of comes down to passion too. If you feel so passionate about something, if you feel really passionate about Shakeology and what it does for you and what it does, why you drink it every day and why everybody around you that you care about should drink it every day, then people will feel that, okay? People will like pick up on that, and they will feel that passion. And it's the same thing with the coaching opportunity. If you feel passionate and 100% believe in this opportunity and what this is going to do for you and your family and what this can do for millions of other people, then you will share that with that passion. And that is what's going to get people to join you and to believe in it with you. So that's obviously like one really big key ingredient to success is just having that passion. And it's not even just in this business, it's in whatever you want to succeed in your life. You have to have that passion about it. So the second ingredient is activity. More activity is insurance against failure. So basically, this kind of goes back to the funnels and whatever. Like if you invite 100 people to your challenge, you're more likely to have someone join than if you invite just 10, right? So it's that activity that you have to do, right? And when you are active, when you are doing the activity, when you are inviting, when you are putting yourself out there actively all the time, consistently, you can expect criticism and you can expect to be ignored. Absolutely. This is something that so many people on this team are super familiar with, being ignored. Okay. That is just a product of activity. And you really just can't be successful without those things. And this is not something that I'm just saying myself. This is like from this EntreLeadership book. Like literally that's a known thing. Like you can expect to be criticized and you can expect to be ignored. Absolutely. And you will not succeed unless you've without those things. You're not just going to, invite 10 people and they're all going to join you and nobody's going to ignore you and it's going to be fine. That's not exactly how it happens. So, but then there's another quote where it says, activity and success make rejection and non-fatal failure easier to work through emotionally. And it's absolutely true, because the more activity that you're doing, i.e. the more invites you're sending, the more people you're talking to, is going to make that rejection and that being ignored so much easier to deal with. And that's why, this is something I said so much. Anytime somebody's come to me and said, oh, people are ignoring me. What do you do when people ignore you? And I can't believe that this person's ignoring me and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, honestly, usually I don't even really notice when people are ignoring me, because I'm talking to so many people that if there's one person who didn't respond to my message, I'm not going to notice that until they come up in my reminders to follow up with them in, a few weeks or whatever. And then I'll go back to the message thread and I'll be like, oh, wait, they saw that message and they never actually responded. And it's fine. So then I just send them another message, but then I mark them down to check in with them again in 6 weeks and I move on to the next person. So I don't even know that they're ignoring me. And it just makes it so much easier to deal with than if you have just 10 people that you're inviting, 10 people that you're talking to. That's it. If 5 of those people are ignoring you, you're going to notice it, right? Because it's just those 10 people that you're dealing with. So, so that's the importance behind activity. That's why you need to be doing more of the activity. You need to be talking to more people. And that's it. That's literally all it comes down to, as far as, dealing with that rejection, criticism, and being ignored. The next ingredient is scarcity. And this is something that we see so much it's actually something I feel like it's kind of gone away a little bit. I don't see it quite as much. But I know I usually always put in my posts where I'm inviting to challenge groups, I always put, I'm looking for just this amount of women, or else I only have this many spots left. And it's that scarcity that you create the perception that your product is scarce or rare, and you have added tremendous marketing energy to your plan. So you think about your own purchasing habits or stuff like that. So if you think that, oh, I could just do this anytime. I could join that challenge group anytime. I don't really want to do it right now. I could do it anytime. But if you're no, I'm doing this right now. Another great idea to do for this is you will see the words test group. I've used that quite often. I've promoted challenge groups quite often, saying I'm looking for 10 women to join my test group. And that puts more of a urgency. That's the next ingredient. They kind of go hand in hand, but it makes it seem more scarce. Wow, this is a test group. Test groups are a one-time thing, da 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 da. And it gets people more likely to take that leap of faith and to join you, because it's a big deal to try to join a challenge group. It's a big deal, especially if somebody's never done anything like it before, Or maybe they are like so many of us and they have had so many failed attempts at losing weight before. So they're like, well, how's this going to be any different? You know, all the voices. I mean, I think pretty much all of us have been on our own weight loss journeys. So you hear those voices in your head, like, how is this going to be any different? I've already tried, you know, working out, whatever. It is going to be different. And we know that because there's that undeniable support that you don't get anywhere else in the challenge group and from us coaches and stuff like that. But they don't totally see that. So you use that scarcity, you know, like limited space. I only have this many spots, a test group, blah, blah, blah. And it's more likely to get them to say, you know what? Yes, I'm going to do this and I'm going to succeed at this. Okay. So that's the thing around scarcity. And that's why you always want to put out there, like, I never cap off my challenge groups. I don't. And I don't think any coaches do, unless they're like crazy successful top coaches that literally have like thousands of people flocking to them every month. I don't even know if that happens. I don't know. But anyways, like I could see them then maybe capping them off, because it would be really hard to keep tabs on, like, you know, more than a certain amount of people. And so they, you know, some people probably do, but I never do. But I always, in my posts, I always say, I only have this many spots, limited space available, You got to put that number in there, because that's like, you know, and I, even when I'm following up with people, follow-up tip, and you're trying to like get people to commit or whatever, I will usually say, you know, something like, I'm holding a spot for you. Let me know either way. You know, if you have somebody ignoring you, they were like interested and then they're ignoring you. I'm holding a spot for you. Let me know either way if you can join. That would be great. Or yeah, something like that. So you kind of make it seem like this is a scarce thing. Like this isn't, you know, I'm just opening this to everybody. Or if you're inviting somebody who was interested before and then you're like, you know, starting inviting to your next group, I'll send people messages and say, hey, I'm just opening up my next group. I know you were interested in trying this out before, but that wasn't the best time for you. You know, I got a spot with your name here on it. If you want to give it a go this time. If not, that's totally fine too. Please just let me know either way. So, you know, I can open your spot up if you're not able to make it happen. Those sorts of things. It makes people, you know, puts that scarcity mentality on it, and it makes people feel like, okay, yeah, I got to jump on this now, which then brings us to the fourth ingredient, which is urgency. They kind of go hand in hand, because if a product is scarce, then it conveys the urgency. And it's the same sort of thing. Urgency in this business, a lot of times where that comes is like end of the month. So when the sales are ending, because every month we have different sales, right, for challenge packs and stuff. So say this month, Pio's on sale. So at the end of the month, you can say, absolutely, last chance to get this package at a discounted price or whatever, or send your people messages who were interested in Pio before and let them know, like, it's going to be more expensive tomorrow, whatever, at the end of the month. So that's the other way to create urgency. And with the scarcity too, that's a great thing to keep in mind for new product launches. Heads up, guys, there's going to be a new product launch this week in Cancun. My bets are that it's a body beast, but I don't really know for sure. So anyways, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Obviously, as soon as it's announced, it's going to be all over your social media. I will get it up in the team page as quickly as I can while I'm down there and stuff like that. So this is great to keep this in mind. When there's a new product announced, say, I'm running a test group, I have this brand new program, blah, blah, blah. Use that verbiage, because it's like, whoa, okay, I could be the first one to do this. Like, it's so much cooler than just like, whatever, I can just do this anytime. Well, no, you can be the first one to do this program, right? So keep that in mind. That's when scarcity is a really key ingredient yeah. So, and then those things kind of add up to the momentum theorem, which is Dave Ramsey's formula for momentum. And it is focused intensity over time multiplied by God equals unstoppable momentum. So it's just, that's all it is. It's just, if you dive in and you have focused intensity in what you're doing, so you sit down and you show up with passion every day and you do the activities that you have to do every day and you create the scarcity and the urgency in your challenge groups every single day, over time, times the power of God, will create unstoppable momentum for you in your business. And that's what we all want. It's that big it's that momentum. And then once you get that momentum, you got to just keep going, because I know so many of us, I do it all the time. You get that momentum and you're like, sweet, everybody's coming to me now. Just sit back a little bit. And then the momentum dies down. You have to keep that focused intensity, dive in over time. And that's where momentum comes from. So I hope that this helped you guys. I'm just going to open up the chat here. You guys have been really chatting. So I'm just going to see if there's any questions. Okay. Do you have the same meal plan in your free groups? Yes, I do. I use the same meal plan in all my free clean eating groups. I just recently changed it up. I change it up for my own sanity though, like for my own, because I get bored with my free clean eating groups. And when I get bored with my free clean eating groups, then I don't put as much into it. And then obviously people don't get as much out of it because I'm not showing up. So they're not participating as much. So, I just recently changed my meal plan up again, but I usually use the same meal plan for like months. The last one that I used for, I don't even know how many months, probably 8 or 9 months. And so I just changed it up, but every single 2 weeks I use the same meal plan. I don't personally follow, like the one that I just did for my last one, I just created myself, and it is actually how I usually eat every day. So that one I do pretty much follow, but I don't personally like make a point of making sure that I'm personally following the clean eating plan, or else I would need to change it up more often. But like I say, I don't typically have the same people in my free clean eating groups. It's usually always a group of new people. If I do have somebody that wants to join one of my free clean eating groups and they were in another free clean eating group before, I let them know it's going to be the exact same content, going to be the exact same meal plan, and that's fine. Because, you know, really, like I say, it's like, it's a funnel, right? So you want new people. You don't want to have the same people in all your free clean eating groups every time. If it's new people, it's going to be a new meal plan to them, no matter that you've used it for the last year. Like, they don't know that, right? It doesn't really matter to them. It's still new to them. So I hope that helps with that one. And yeah, do you guys have any other questions? I'm just looking at the chat box. So if you have any questions, you can like throw them in there. And no? Are you typing? Is it okay, I'm gonna. And yes, I love what my mom said about if you're passionate, you will sacrifice something. Absolutely. It's all about sacrifice. Okay, it's not all about sacrifice. All right, if you don't have your camera on, turn it on. I'm going to take a screenshot. Camera time. Okay, there's everybody. And then there's the phone, which I think is Julie. Maybe I'll just photo crop Julie's face on the phone or something. Okay. All right, guys. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Okay, guys, I hope you have a great week, and there will not be a team call next Sunday because I will be traveling. So I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you on Facebook.